left. Yes, you've passed the line.
So I think maybe I'm similar to you, that I have some idea of what I've been looking for, but then coming into this program, it's making me think in a different way about what that job is. I wonder if you could speak to that, about how it's, maybe some of you that had a clear idea of what your vocation was, in what way, and I'm looking for specifics, kind of, you know, how did it open up the idea of what your work is for you?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite. If you had a concrete idea of what your area was, and if it remained that.
Like, for example, you're thinking you want to be a teacher, and then you come to this program, you think, you know, I really want to be a superintendent, or I want to be.
So let's see what the influence was in terms of. So I knew what the area I wanted to focus in, and that would never change. Didn't know exactly what specifically how it would work within that area. So one of the things that I was struggling with is whether I wanted to actually go out and become an external consultant versus working inside the system. And so it became very clear to me last fall when we went through the consultant team work with the external consultant, external client rather, that I do not want to be a consultant. So that brought a lot of clarity to me around that how I am going to engage or not engage within my vocational area.
That's exactly what I was asking.
Yeah.
What other questions do you have?
Answers to that one?
Are there other
T-shirt. We need a graduate T-shirt. What other questions?
Oh, what a good idea!
I have one, this just is a broad question. So you're here, very close to graduation. So what's the thing that most excites you?
Taking a long nap.
Wow, I don't want to hear that.
Well, actually, part of that for me, because I'm not one of the, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to be doing in 6 months, I'm going to be hired for a job and blah, blah, blah. I'm looking forward to integration and to letting the dust settle and seeing where I move to. And I've really been working on being okay with ambiguity, and here's my opportunity for real. And so, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that.
I have to say, I've got a stack of novels that's about that big that I haven't been able to touch.
Well, yeah, I've got all that I want to do, all replaying some of my personal life, that's for sure. And also, but the 2 years of the program, I've been exposed to so much that I've only been able to really look at the surface of that I want to explore much deeper. And so that's, it's a body of work that I can spend a good deal of time in the coming years exploring more deeper. So I'm excited about that.
I think continuing the relational and experiential learning, drawing on what all of us have brought and shared, and continuing that in a different phase of our lives, a different academic transition. I think what that's going to look like is really, really interesting, and continuing the work that we're building up now.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's a new community, the OSR community, so I'm looking forward to that, continuing engagement with that community.
I'm looking forward to trying out some of the things that we've gotten as tools. I have the opportunity, like you guys at work, to do it. So the concepts we've given, how do they work in the real world? And then, and then as I'm doing that, building the bridge to my next future, where I'm going to take Peter's job. but really, there's a lot of tactical things and strategic things, a lot of group dynamic things. There's so much richness in the stuff that is even tangential to my area of focus that I could just play. Like, I'm going to try to do a World Cafe here in a couple of months. So this is the first thing I get to try out of the gate. So I'm really excited. If it fails, that's fine. We'll just learn. It's all information, right?
Yeah.
So when are you going to tell Peter?
I don't know. I think he's
No, the
out.
question is, when's he gonna tell his wife she has to move?
He's in
It's
California.
ever,
I
it's an
know.
ever expanding universe. There's plenty of room for more.
That's true. I was surprised how deep and vast the amount of material that we run into in this program is. It's
Yeah.
an unbelievable amount of data.
Who says
Yeah.
Washington doesn't need a northern branch?
Yeah, he said he
Exactly.
tried that. Closed. That's right. Maybe he tried.
That's right.
What other questions do you? Anything else that 15 wants to share about the journey, particularly in the second year?
I'll speak to that. I think my area of focus originally was about facilitating transformation for others. The answer to your question is why I thought, okay, I'm ready for that, and I thought I did a lot of work for on myself already, but I still realized that my mentoring council or degree committee helped me replace the word others to myself, and so then it shifted into facilitating transformation for myself, and then so. You guys study systems thinking, the mental model in the iceberg, the deeper you go, the more leverage. And I felt like I can't really be an instrument of change for others if I'm not clear about, myself as the tool, right? And so really then it made me realize the work is on me first before I can, not before, but in parallel of then engaging with others in the world. And so I guess that's kind of where I am about being with my transformation.
Yeah, so May 2011 would be a good place for you.
May 20th.
Yeah.
Oh,
Next year.
when we graduate.
When you're in the center.
No, I mean, really, it's we were all in the situation that you all in last year. A lot of us unclear on
Yeah.
where we're headed. That we were faced with the theory paper and all the work going into year 2. It was overwhelming, really daunting. But we've gone through our projects now. We've gone through, most of us gone through our final meeting with our mentoring team, and so this is a good place to be. So.
Yeah, you guys did a similar thing like this last year.
Yes,
didn't you?
we had-
did that.
and we had
And
an
you guys
OS
look a lot more confident
Yes.
than
Yes.
I didn't get to come because I was
I don't remember you, but I remember
DT6.
you.
We had an OSR 14 person tell us she read how many, 100 books?
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah.
Just
I was
to
really
set the stage.
I want to say something about the theory paper, and that is that it was spelled out really well, like you do this, and you do this, and you do this, but I was still really overwhelmed, and I kept putting it off, and I kept avoiding and avoiding. So, I guess I would say if it's something where you're seeing it and it seems overwhelming, just really let it be step number 1, cover everything else up and only look at step number 1 and then just do that. And then step number 2 and then just do that. And when I finally did that, it was like, oh, this isn't a big deal. It really wasn't. But looking at the whole thing for me was overwhelming. So if that happens with you, just start with 1, and then 2.
And also,
Yeah.
and also what I did was, I have a big picture, and I wanted to integrate whole picture into one theory paper, but I was not able to do it, and I was so discouraged about my ability to do it. So I just pick up part of the big umbrella and focus on the area and write the theory paper. It was very simple, even though that was not covering whole picture of my area, but that was a good learning process. And finally, when I did my OSR project, I found how the process helped me to think about other area I didn't cover in the theory paper, so don't worry about it.
So you just reminded me too, it's really, really important to just learn enough, like the word enough. Actually, there was just some really great learning for me even that came together just at the very end in that, like, 18 sources said it. Okay, now I could get 19, and trust me, even afterwards, I still didn't believe it until I saw it for myself. So, like maybe